In this case, though, Willie, we were dealing with a young man that didn't have the guardrails that the rest of society has. And I find it hard blaming, blaming Judd Apatow for what went on in this town.
When you watch that tape of him, his manifesto on YouTube, I don't see a guy looking for sexual conquest. I see human loneliness.
Yeah.
I think he's a guy who's alone. I think generally the role of pop culture is underrated. I think it's very important. This stew of movies and video games and the culture of violence, I think, does matter. But in this case, I think it's a little bit of a reach to blame Judd Apatow. I mean, actually, if you watch his movies, the schlubby guy doesn't get the girl until he grows up in the end. And so I think I understand the larger point about culture, and I do think culture matters more than most people say. But in this case, I think it's a reach.
Before you get to pop culture, there's another element here that is older than time itself, and it is this. According to the news reports, after this horrific incident occurred, on April 30th, his parents divorced, the mother and the father divorced, were so concerned about their son's behavior and threats of violence in Santa Barbara, California, an hour and 15 minutes from where they both live in Los Angeles. They were so concerned that they called the Santa Barbara Police Department to do a well-being check. I'm sorry. Get in your car and go see your son and find out what's going on with his life. Check in on your son. I don't want to indict the parents because we don't know the full story, but just off of that one news element, I mean, it seems that there was very little going on between his family and himself. This picture of loneliness that you just described in the video shot in the car, that is addressable before you go to a gun store.